Hello YouTube, this is MrSchylock once again, and this is part 3 of my Let's Play for Medieval Total War II, the Venice Campaign. And since last time, we have, well, my real life troubles are over, more or less, and you could expect to see videos with a lot more frequency. Yeah. So thanks for keeping up the patience with me. I know it's been a long wait. Over a couple of days, I think I should finish this, so stay tuned. We are picking up exactly where we left off last time. The Crusade is still on, and I am still rapidly expanding my borders in every single direction possible. I think I'm up to like in settlement numbers, the low teens and the high teens and the low 20s. I need to get to 45 in order to win. So with all Total War campaigns, at some point, you just get a lot stronger relative to the AIs. At that point, you could just start turtling and building up your armies and marching upon the AIs with 20 full stacks of 20 units that are highly upgraded whenever you feel like. Well, I'm not going to play it that way because I'm trying to finish this as fast as possible, so I can still retain a element of challenge within this campaign. So I am still, yeah. So I've gotten a couple of questions about the kind of Crusade mechanics, and I guess I will talk about a bit about that right now, since I'm pretty much all I'm doing with my armies is marching on. More or less on defended settlements. So what you need to do to join the Crusade is, of course, 10 units led by a general, and after joining the Crusade, that stack you have is you do not have to pay any upkeep for it, and it can move across the map a lot faster. This allows you to keep any blitzkrieg going. In addition to the fact that you can hire mercenaries, like what I'm doing now, special Crusade mercenaries that you would not normally have access to, and those units are pretty good, I would say. So you could just keep on moving across the map. Whenever your stacks get depleted, you can reinforce with mercenaries. So all in all, it works very well. But there's two things that normally prevent you from doing it. One is desertions, and the other is the fact that you can't attack Catholic armies with crusading ones. So to overcome the first problem, these desertions, I basically took the contrapositive of an in-game statement, and it worked. So basically what the in-game statement was, it said something along the lines that one of my armies is no longer under the command of a crusading general, and if they are not returned to the command of a crusading general the next turn, they will desert me. So the contrapositive of that statement is if those troops are returned to a crusading general, they will not desert me the next turn. So basically, to condense all that, what you need to do to effectively prevent desertions is to decrusade your stacks every couple of turns, and then recrusade them the turn immediately following, so that your men's happiness will constantly be going up and down. They won't be too happy or too sad, and they will be more or less stable. So that could be seen in some light as somewhat of an exploit, but I think, and it probably wasn't intended to work that way. It probably, I mean, I did get the idea from an in-game message, so I think it should be legitimate, somewhat. As for the second thing, it's crusading against Catholics. What you need to do is you can't attack them with crusading stacks, so you need to attack them with non-crusading stacks. So what I usually like to do is decrusade my general right before attacking them, get another unit of infantry up to this side of the siege, non-crusading of course, so that unit of infantry could attack the gates with siege equipment, and then I'll have my crusading stack standing right off in the wings, and they will reinforce when the non-crusading unit attacks. So effectively, I am attacking with my Crusading stack, in that case. The stack I have here is somewhat depleted, so I'm not gonna keep on going against the Byzantines. Besides, I have another stack in Italy waiting to come this way, so I'll just have it steamroll ahead, and I'll have the other stack clean up after. This is basically trying to minimize the number of turns I spend in this campaign. And if you've watched my last campaign, the Western Rome one, you know that I have a tendency to rush things and be successful at it. So, as how things stands right now, I think 20 turns should be very possible. Here, I made a mistake of not building ladders or tower siege or the battering ram, so I cannot attack the same turn, wasting a turn. Who fucking who? It's fine. So right now I'm just checking to see if I forgot anything. I like to keep a constant stream of units within northern Italy. Basically recruiting something every other turn, so that whenever I adopt a new general, which usually spawn in Italy, I can have another Crusading stack out, marching anywhere, somewhere. I don't really care, as long as I have them. So the Pope is not taking my bribes. What I'm trying to do here is to get more Jesus points, the crosses on the Pope string. Once I get about like 4 or 5 of them, I will take Sicily out of the game. So basically, when you have a lot of them and you attack a Catholic faction, the Pope will more or less not care as much because he likes you. So, it kind of makes sense. So if I have a Crusade of maybe 5, I won't be excommunicated. Once that happens, my crusade will end, and everything will go to hell from there. You will notice, like every now and then, when I am trying to move into the fog of war, I do it tediously. Oh yeah, here is the message I was talking about earlier, saying how the stacks will desert you or not, and whatnot, and it's basically hinting you in a rather roundabout way that you can keep your armies indefinitely. This is like one of the closer battles I had, but then again the AI is still hopelessly screwed. So no point in me fighting that out. I'll just auto-resolve it. Besides, even if I try to fight it out, it probably wouldn't go so well for me because that army, I do not have very good melee units. Melee infantry. I have a lot of cavalry. I have a lot of archers. They are not too good. They aren't too great in a siege. A siege is basically a melee infantry game. So I'm going after the cities of my enemies. I don't really care about the armies in the field. Fighting those will not really gain me anything and will only cost me casualties. So I'm going after the cities. Basically, once I take out all the cities, those any armies they have left will become rebel units and sit in place and not do anything after that. So by taking out all the cities, I am effectively eliminating all the enemy armies. I find that much easier than otherwise. So here I am not having any desertions as usual because I have taken the liberty to decrusade most of my troops that are on the verge of deserting. So, and another pointer, whenever you're in the east and you're trying to, whenever you're in the east and you're a Catholic faction, recruit a lot of priests, because they level up when there's Muslims around, for a very good reason, I suppose. So if you have a lot of high-ranking priests, you have a very good shot of attaining the papacy, and that makes your life a lot easier. Yeah, it makes your life easier, and that makes your game easier, and it probably makes you happy. So it's probably something worth doing. So here, with all my armies, after I conquer a city, I like to move on. But then the problem becomes keeping the city I just conquered happy. What I usually like to do for that is to build any building that will, if it's fast, that will allow me to recruit units and and so that I could keep the people happy. Usually by lowering the taxes and recruiting one unit of militia for towns, and the same thing for castles, besides in lieu of the fact that you can't lower the taxes, that'll more or less keep the people happy. And if you're taking large cities in the east, for instance Jerusalem or Cairo, you usually want to exterminate the populace so that the people, well, the population is just too high to do it, to keep it normally. So you might be thinking that all of this is a little aggressive, and that I am not paying attention at all to defense. I would like to think that I'm doing it for good reason. Basically, what I'm thinking here is that by attacking so quickly and relentlessly, the AI will not have time to launch counterattacks against me before all their cities are taken, and or they won't be in the mood to attack me because all their own cities are under attack. Of course, I probably will lose a city here and there, but I will have stacks coming out of Italy every couple of turns to clean up, so it should be fine.
Come face me.
Additionally, the fact that I can hire mercenaries just about anywhere, and the fact that my armies move so damn fast, I could outmaneuver most of my enemies, allowing me to sometimes ignore their field armies. For instance, in the beginning of the game, when I took out Milan and Hungary, I think their major stacks were out trying to expand, and I kind of caught them with their pants down. But since my armies could move so fast and theirs move a lot slower than mine, they could not respond to the situation fast enough before their core cities were taken. So that's the mobility. I cannot stress how important that is, but it is very important. I cannot exactly paint it in a very convincing way, I don't think. So Sicily has been a bother to me this whole game. Like here, I had to hire like 3 units inside and keep them inside Ragusa so I wouldn't lose it. I usually don't play that way, but the situation did call for it. Here, well, the enemy's hopelessly screwed. I take back my old city that I captured on like turn 2 or something like that, and I will have this army continue to Thessalonica. I have 2 generals in this stack, not ideal. I'll probably split it up later, but not now. There's not a lot of incentive to do that as of now. I think I've been taking the Byzantine War kind of slowly, so they'll probably have a pretty decent sized army once I get there. So here is my next crusading stack ready to go. Here's my general, and I'm basically hiring up 10 units every 2 turns, give or take. So yeah, every 2 turns I'll have a new general. But then again, I am limited by the 10 turns that a crusade could be conducted during. So after 10 turns, the crusade automatically ends, whether you have taken or have not taken the settlement. So I'm kind of limited by the time that I could expand like this, but so here once again we have Sicily being a pest. I'm just gonna have to hire up some units so they do not just walk into my settlement. So I'm looking forward to taking them out. They basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna land two crusading armies right next to their 2 cities, take them out in 1 turn. Since they have a lot of I think the AI's normal response is to pull back all their troops and try to defend their cities, but that won't really help them because they won't nearly get there nearly in time. So same thing here in Ragusa. Since I moved out all of the garrison the previous turn, I'm going to have to reinforce it. So I don't really like castles, especially for outlying cities, since the role of a castle is mainly to train troops. I like to have them in easily accessible locations and not have too many of them, because I don't really lose a lot of troops. And when I do try to replace them, I usually do it with mercenaries, especially in the early game. So and towns are better for income, so usually that's what I do. when I'm building buildings, it's usually roads, ports, and farms, the best economic buildings for this time. And when the situation calls for it, churches and other public order buildings, whenever it needs, I don't build them just because. The naval combat in this game really sucks. I mean, really, you can't fight them out manually, and the auto-resolve, especially on higher difficulties, insanely favors the AI. So unless you have higher numbers, do not expect to win. Once again, I only get a talk of desertion and no actual desertion, thanks to that exploit I have. So here, I will recrusade that stack, regaining all the movement points, and making it, once again, not liable to desert me. As usual, the AI is hopelessly screwed. The Crusade just gives you way too many free units. There's nothing that the AI could do. Sadly, ignorant. This general is weird. I mean, usually, if you do a lot of crusading, you will get a lot of chivalry points and not a lot of dread points. But I think leaving the crusade repeatedly has done some bad things for my general's honor. But that's fine. I like the chivalry and the dread thing in this game. Unlike Shogun 2, where you can only build honor, this game you can go both ways, and both has its merits and its faults, I think. So it makes for a lot more interesting gameplay in some respects. But it also, like in Shogun 2, the honor system, it kind of limits your options. Like if you want to loot a settlement, oh well, you're gonna have to deal with a lot of public unrests later on. So it's not exactly worth it here in medieval. Do whatever as you please because it doesn't really matter that much down the road. My army is agonizingly close to Antioch, but I'm not going to take it just yet. I'm going to let the tensions run its course, and then I will take it. Well, I'll take it on the 10th turn, so I can get the maximum benefit out of my crusade. Once it ends though, my upkeep costs are going through the roof, so I cannot be too liberal with my money right now. But I still have to be kind of liberal, because if not, I won't be able to pay. So sorry. I won't be able to pay for everything once it ends. So right now I'm paying probably less than 3k per turn in upkeep, and once the crusade is over, I'm probably gonna be looking at 20k. So I need to really prepare my economy for that. But then again, there's always there's no chance. I won't be finishing before the crusade ends. Although I would wish it though. So Smyrna, I turned it into a town. Towns have a lot less public order than castles, so since those infantry were right there, might as well put them in there. My economy can take it at this point. So if I were to play this kind of a strategy with, say, a different faction, it would be slightly more difficult. The main things that makes the Venetians' life a lot easier is that their militia infantry, which can be produced in cities, is vastly superior to anything you face in the first 20 turns. And since I will be making most of my armies in northern Italy, I will have a lot of these Italian militias, kind of like Roman legions in the previous game, but that's a moot point. Let us move on. So here, same thing as usual. I'm building up a garrison to train up some peasants to keep the city happy, and afterwards, economy buildings. Like I said earlier, once the crusade ends, I will have to start paying upkeep for all of my troops, and that will not be exactly a pleasant thing. Like I mentioned many times, most of the battles in this video are ones where one side is hopelessly screwed, and with me fighting it out, there won't be much of a change in the outcome. I see an army of Moors right next to that city, so I think I'll just stick around for a turn. I have a lot of Jesus points now. Next turn, I will be backstabbing Sicily. Well, not really backstabbing. I don't like them. They've been a pest to me all game. It's time they died. So ships, when you're using your crusading armies, try to put them on ships. You move a lot faster than if you were on land. it makes your people get to places faster. So once you do actually get there, you won't face nearly as much opposition. In addition to later on, you won't be paying nearly as much upkeep. So wasting time between point A and point B is not efficient whatsoever, and you should try to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. If you've been watching a lot of my videos, you probably know that I'm pretty nutty when it comes to efficiency. Like both of these campaigns, really, I'm trying to make it function as efficiently as possible with minimal waste and maximum gain. So yeah, I could have built those nice hospital towers, but I didn't. It's pretty interesting though. Like in most of these Total War games, being friends with Mr. Jesus gives you very good military options. Like here, by crusading, I get I'm able to blitzkrieg the map. On top of that, I can recruit Knight Hospitallers or Knights Templars very early into the game, and they are pound for pound like the best cavalry in the game. That's on turn like 20. Like the power of Mr. Jesus is pretty good in these games. Say Total Shogun. By converting to Christianity, you can get access to gunpowder relatively early, and that's very powerful. And the Namban trade ship, which will absolutely destroy anything in the water.
My lord, they're engaging us.
Yeah, Jesus. Ooh. Okay, civil revolt. That's not great, but I can deal with it. So here's another. Well, more Knights Templars and more generals. Why not? A couple of my cities are rioting, but it should not be a huge issue. As most of those I can keep happy, and for those that I can't, I'll have my new armies coming out of Italy deal with the problem. So here I will start the backstabbing process. And a quick pointer, for most crusading armies, there is the option to hire mercenary galleys for very cheap. Normally they will cost about 1,000 florins, and for crusading armies they cost about 200. And there's usually 2 available for you almost anywhere, so that helps you get around very easily. Take advantage of it. It makes your life better. So here is that trick about attacking Catholic factions. So I do crusade my general first, hire a unit of mercenaries, infantry of course, so that that unit of mercenary infantry will use the siege equipment when I actually attack. So here, next turn I will attack with my general stack, and I'll have my crusading stack standing right next to them, so that when I actually do attack, they will reinforce. Same thing here. And the AI is woefully inadequately when it comes to preparation. To deal with these 2 attacks. I think, if I remember correctly, there was only the 2 generals in both of those cities, respectively, so not much of a fight, more like a slaughter. And there's no way in hell those Sicilian troops threatening my cities will get back to defend in time. And the AI doesn't have them take those cities right now, so Sicily's beyond screwed, unless the Pope intervenes, of course. But I think I have more than enough Jesus points for that to basically ignore them. Yeah, 4. That should be enough. Like here, last time I didn't think I could take out Constantinople because or was it here? Yeah, I think my memory's. Yeah, that's right. I didn't think I could take out Constantinople. That army is really beat up. Especially my melee infantry. So, and since so there's no way I could take that city. The auto result won't do it for me, and even if I play it out, it won't do it for me. So here an interesting thing happened. I think I killed off all the Turkish family members. So that's why they disappeared as a faction. Pretty useful. Makes my life easier. I like easy. Well, I'm trying to make it hard and interesting, but at the same time I like easy. So I'm not taking Antioch. I'm just going back there to on the way to more settlements, and of course, yeah.
Name thy enemy, Lord.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
orders, noble
like, if you see me doing anything that you think is noobish or incorrect, let me know, because I do want to know. Yeah, I do want to know, and I'll make it better. So, if you do see something that probably I could improve upon, please let me know. And let's see. And if you know how to bribe the Pope for more Jesus points, like right now, you see when I'm trying to do that, it's usually like he just refuses me. It's like, oh, you know, it's too nice of you, but I'm not gonna take it. If you know a way to get more Jesus points by bribing the Pope or anything really, let me know. It will, like, if I can get enough Jesus points, I can just roll up France and Germany. And that will bring me up to the 45 much quicker. So right now I'm doing well enough, I suppose. 26 settlements, not too shabby for a turn, I think that's 11, yeah? So